So, you are the person you are now, and it ain't necessarily working for the rest of the world. You're that person who's hot-headed. Every time somebody say something to you, you pissed, or you getting up in other folks' business because you can't. You got some kind of feeling about some kind of insecurity that you're dealing with, or you think that everybody's out to get you, or some of those traits, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them. People getting in their feelings in the wrong, into the wrong realm of thinking. So like you hanging out with people who feel in the same way too. So like you would never be able to hang out with y'all all thinking the same direction. Y'all all had those emotions, and y'all bond over this. So you justify each other.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack, and we're back in the lab a little later than usual. It's a little brighter in here. But before we get started, remember to trample over that like, subscribe, and share button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all.
I like that. You said trample over that like and subscribe button. I like that. All right. I was like, pun intended, I guess. All right. So, all right, man. How you been, Mark? What's been going on with you, man?
Been pretty well for the most part. Got a little situation going on, but we working through it.
Yeah.
Just trying to stay level headed, not let too much get to you, because it's just it was bound to happen. It happens. Things happen. You just kind of roll with the punches.
Right.
Other than that, pretty good. I can't complain.
You adapt and you overcome, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Even though it might not be the easiest thing in the world, but, you got life to live, so you're gonna have to do it regardless. But how long it take you to adapt and overcome, like it's gonna happen regardless. But the how long it take to adapt is on the person. So yeah.
But what I like most about situations like that, like it's challenging, but like you don't know what to expect. Like it could be as equally bad as it is good. Like this could be a whole
Right.
blessing in disguise. Like it
Yeah, exactly.
Just changing up just something you've been doing that's been mundane. Like we weren't really going anywhere with this one situation. So like this could be the change up that we really need for so yeah. I'm excited about it a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit excited, a little bit,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I feel that. With that being said, man, and I wanted to go into it
Mm-hmm.
in just be cautious of how I step on that territory. But somebody recently hit you with some BS, and I wanted to challenge it, right? And the way it was brought to you, it was almost like I heard some bad news. Let me go comfort this person. Because somebody, you hear bad news about somebody, you like, all right, let me go see if they all right. Let me go check on them or whatnot. But for whatever reason, this individual, he hit you with the, hey man, I heard you got some stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really some stuff going on, or is it really some stuff going on? Yeah, it's really some stuff going on. No, I heard there's really some stuff going on, bruh.
Right?
Like I heard
I'm
you
like,
fuck, bruh. Like what? What?
and I'm like, I'm not sure how much he has grasp on the situation or like what he's hurt, but I'm like,
Bruh,
if
even
I say
it
it's
don't
okay,
matter. Like,
that too. If I said it was okay, and I'm not, stressing over losing my head over it, then and he
oh,
totally took
his
that out of context. He was just like, I'm gonna take it this way.
no.
I heard what you said, but I'm gonna still think this way, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, bro. It's so disrespectful, bro. It's like it's like you had a family member close to you pass away and somebody come and make a joke about it, bro.
Right.
It's like oh no like this. Yo, my mom's in a coma. I'm feeling bad about it. They say she might wake up, but we don't know. We don't really know what's happening. And then they come and be like, "Yo, I heard what happened. She ain't never waking up, right?"
Yep. Kind of like that. Yep.
Man, I was like, when I heard it, bro. All right, so this is supposed to be a boss of false, right? Because I don't really know how to ask the question at this point. Like I'm at a loss for words because like the way the situation happened when it was told to me, like Bishop he be exaggerating stuff and he know how to tell a good story. So when he told me, I was like, nah, cap. Cap. Like, nah, I'm nah, bro. Nah, hey, there's no way that a person can be that inhumane about something like that, bro.
He definitely was. It caught me off guard. I was just like, what is this? What is
Yeah,
happening right now? But
the bishop was like, you had to walk away. I was like, wow, no, no, no,
I was yeah.
with a smile on his face.
Crazy. I think we could pull it in the boss false. Like, is it a boss move or a false move to uh uh get information? It be like just I don't even know how to phrase it. Like just information from
That's what I'm
gossipers or
saying, bro.
whatever.
There's no way to phrase. It's a false move all the way. Like even if you don't like somebody, bro, that's horrible, bro. Like if something happened to Alyssa and somebody came up to me making a joke about it, bro, I'm fighting.
I feel that.
Hey, for real, kudos to you for not though. Like for real, kudos to you because like we here to talk about that right now, on this episode, keeping your emotions in check, bro. I had so much respect for you after that, bro, because I was pissed when I found out about that. Like I was in a headspace where I felt like I needed to do something about it, teach this clown a lesson or something, bro. Like I was in that. I'm still in that mindset now. Like every time I see that dude, my head get hot. Like I, kudos, dog. Like real talk.
It happens. It happens. Uh, so the story that we could tell or that I want to tell is like uh, so it stems from like things that I've seen growing up, things that I've watched. Like keeping those emotion in check can like it it's almost like a superpower. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've seen anime TV shows like not keeping it in check can get like you in trouble, can get you hurt, can get
Mm-hmm.
you even far as it's like getting killed. Like say you in a bad part of the neighborhood or something and like you just have to, assert your dominance or like we got make sure that people know that you top dog or whatever. And like just that unknown feeling of that third party, that person that ain't gonna take, your emotions too well. You trying to assert your dominance, it can get you killed even. Like
Mm.
you never
Yeah,
know with people. Like
yeah,
it's just a unknown variable that could cost you your life.
yeah. Absolutely, man. And there's been situations, right? Like I was and I had to have this conversation with Alyssa because she let the Latino heat come out like she Eddie Guerrero sometimes, and Yeah, man. And I know people don't really see it, but she
Mm,
has a really short fuse,
mm,
and it don't come out often. But when it does, I'm just like, yo, if you don't put that shit back in the box, like you about to get us in all type of shit that we don't even need to be in. I was having a conversation with her one time
mm,
about a situation that I saw. It was something that happened down in Florida where it was a road rage incident, and somebody somebody decided that they were going to act out of their emotions, and I guess like the dude cut my man off or something like that in traffic or whatever the case was, and he followed him, walked up to the man's car, tried to drag him out, got shot him dead, and drove off. Like, but like for real, like you didn't even need to address this, and like and vice versa, it happens too. It happens more often on the other side too. Like
mm,
you try to pick a fight with somebody, or you have a person that has road rage, and then they go out and try to kill somebody. Like it happens, like because people don't know how to keep their emotions in check, and I don't know what it is about commuting, but obviously that's a big problem. Like, because if people decide that they want to go out and kill somebody because they're just trying to make it from point A to point B, I mean, where do you really want to be at? Do you really want to be at point A, point B, or your car? Like, for real. Like, I just try to figure that part out. But we'll get to that on another episode.
fact. Big facts, big facts. And it's crazy because, like, all right, say that person does, follow that person, and then, the tables completely turned.
Yeah.
Now, you fighting for your life, and that person can get away scot free because
Mm-hmm.
you aggravated it. You went to attack them. Now the narrative
Mm-hmm.
has changed. Now, you looking at about to do time because what you thought was gonna be a simple, I'm gonna tell this person off. It totally backfires. You done
That's a
messed
little
up
bit different though. Like, if you don't put your hands on somebody, then you can't call the other person can't claim a self defense if they the ones that, like, you can instigate it and all that,
True, true.
but it is a lot of gray area there, and we
Mm-hmm,
ain't got to get
mm-hmm,
into the law. But we can also talk about the gray areas too, because there is a lot of gray area in some of the recent situations that's been going on,
mm-hmm. Definitely.
where either side, nobody can really tell who's the guilty party. So like we can talk about that too, because that also gets people in trouble. And then like people like to swim in the gray area and don't really um understand what they're doing wrong, in a sense. So like that also is one of the things, because you acting in your emotions, you're not thinking
Mm-hmm.
rationally. So that's something that I've been witnessing or
A
with the
lot
recent
lately.
events. Yeah, a lot.
Now that you said something, a lot of events that have been expiring way before the most recent situation has been, people acting out of emotions, uh, people, doing each other wrong in relationships, and uh, just not keeping those emotions in check.
Yeah,
Uh, not being upfront from the start.
yeah.
It can really mess somebody up. Like that just goes to show that you think you might be getting away with it right then and there, but like further down the line, after you keep doing it, after those emotions build up of that person not saying anything, or that
Hmm.
person just hurting on the inside, they explode. It comes out eventually, and we're in
Oh,
those storms right now where those emotions are very high. People are just like
you referred to a certain individual the on Facebook recently with the
with the posting of old pictures.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. All right, cool. I had to tell my man off the other day.
Huh.
I listened to it. Yeah, I listened to his voicemail, and
Oh Lord.
I kindly dismissed myself from his bullshit and dismissed him from my life, or in that text message. So it wasn't the first time I had to do that. I had to do that with
Mm,
another individual who we were trying to work with, and wanted to not take responsibility for the thing that he said he was doing. But regardless, people acting out of emotions, that was also another thing. He acted out of that because he felt like he was disrespected, even though he was the one that set the appointment and was way too high to follow up. But uh, so yeah, interesting stuff there. Ooh. Yeah, I had to relax for a second.
I understand. I understand. Uh, so yeah, like to get into the meat and potatoes of like what we're trying to discuss with y'all is like you have to have some level of control over yourself, or
Hmm.
it's gonna take over. Like in the end, you won't have any control. You're gonna be spiraling. You're gonna act out, attack people
You,
that are close to you. You're gonna be just you're digging yourself a hole and you're gonna put yourself in it. Like you're destroying relationships that you built over a long period of time that because you're acting out of emotions, they're
hmm
they're gonna have to renege on their investments with you. Like you're losing partnerships, relationships, time spent with people because you acting totally different. Like this is a whole new side of you that people are seeing, and
hmm
it's all because you don't have your emotions in check. You're acting out of emotions. You're not thinking logical. You're going off like instant impulses. Like you have to do
Yeah.
this. You're not thinking clearly. You're just you're doing, and you're not doing what you need to be doing. You
All
know,
right. So oh, go
mm.
ahead. My bad. I thought you were
I was
finished.
gonna say like you know, we advocate for you to do like just get off your butt and do something, but it has to be productive. It has to go hand in hand with the brand that you're trying to establish, with
Hmm.
the career you're trying to get off. It has to
Hmm.
be parallel to what you're trying to do. If you're, you know, saying one thing and doing another, it people see that. People see that oh, this person is a hypocrite for what he's trying to advocate, and then you have more and more followers just kind of all right, I think this person isn't, you know, true to what he says. He's not, you know, practicing what he preaches, and he's a phony, you know, and they're gonna back
Yeah.
off of that.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that really puts us ahead of most people, and like people don't really talk about it, but they know who we are, bro,
Mm,
and they know who we represent. So like they know that if they want to go have like for real, folks know who to go get their advice from, and folks know who not
mm,
to go get advice from. They know that if they come sit down and have a conversation with one of us, they know for a fact that they gonna get the truth.
mm,
Like maybe you don't get it at the way you want to get it, but you gonna get the truth. Like I done heard a lot of feelings recently because somebody thought they were deep, and I had to tell them like, look, this is where you're lacking at. But no, that's why no. This is where you're lacking at. This ain't where your strength is. This is where you're lacking at. Like you need to look at this part because this is the part that's getting you in trouble. I'm like, and the reason I brought that up is because like with us, bruh, folks know that we doing what we say we doing. Like
mm,
they know that we consistent. They know that we hard workers. They know that we get things done, and they know that if there's something that we need to do, and we need a strong person on the team, they're gonna come ask one of us about it. And like that, folks know that. So like when it comes to some of these people who are they are looking at situations like, and you said be on brand, like you got to get things done and you got to be on brand. And like one of the things that I'm noticing, like for real, when you dealing with other people, you can't be about your brand. Like your brand can't be one thing and then it violates somebody else's brand, and then you just like, oh, but that's just me. But like for real, like I
mm,
was talking to this young lady who's my counterpart, and like she just for whatever reason she keep asking about everybody else's stuff, and I'm like, yo, let's not do that right there. Like this is what we need not to do. Like that's let them be them. You deal with your own thing. But she's like, but I've always been that way. I'm like, but and that's always what's been getting you in trouble here. because you keep digging into other people's stuff. And I'm like, yo, for real, you can't do that. You can't be who you are, and then you be pissed off when other people don't like who you are. Like that's just it's not how that works. So like. And I'm only going into this mod because you start giving practical advice. We can say practicality for the end. I want to tell people what they're doing wrong. Like that's what I want to. I want to spend 45 minutes telling people what they're doing wrong, and then we can go into practicality for because like some people they believe that they shit don't stink, and like for real, I know I'm not perfect. I ain't never get on this podcast and say I was perfect. I tell Alyssa all the time, look, I might talk like I'm perfect, and I might be omniscient and think I know everything, but there's never been a moment where you can't just be like, oh, Aaron, I need you to calm down because that's not accurate information. Let's reevaluate this. I'm gonna look at you like, hey, let's go. So, because if I'm going to be right next time, I gotta know this information. So, I want to talk about what people doing wrong first, bro. Like that's what I want to get to. Like you talking about emotions and stuff, and how emotions get people in trouble, or how emotions are causing people to get into other people's emotions and get them in trouble. Like I want to talk about all that, bro. Like let's go there first.
Word. So like it it's because all right. So with my emotions, I've never been one to connect with emotions like talking about like
Yeah.
usually I'm more of a logical thinker. So if I like to do something like video games, whatever, I like to play video games. But even
Mhm.
if I know I'm supposed to be doing something else, like it doesn't bring me joy. I can't get enjoyment from it. Like if I know I got like a paper due or like if I'm stressing about something, I can't sit down and like take time away from that. Like I have to do the thing I need to do, and then I can work on like leisure time. But a lot of people
Mhm.
they want that leisure time first, and then like, oh, I'll do this real important thing when I
Mhm.
feel like it, when I
All right.
want to do it, when I have motivation to do it. But
Tell them
like,
why that is. Tell them why that is. Don't run past that. Tell them why, because like people don't. People they do that, and nobody really knows why people do that. So like, tell them why that is. And I know we talked about it on this episode or on this podcast before too.
people like we've been saying, people are in their feelings. They're emotional creatures, and they want to feel good for that moment. And
I
it's
don't
like,
feel like it.
yeah.
There it is. I don't feel like it.
and and when people don't feel like it, it's like pulling teeth almost to try to get them to do like the simplest of tasks, washing dishes, doing the things that need to be done around the house, doing the things that
Mhm.
need to be done in your relationship, that just
Mhm.
simple things that just make it better, that makes the other one feel loved. And then another thing,
Mhm.
people get into this mindset where it hasn't been done for me. I didn't grow up with this, so I ain't gonna do it. Like you said, this is just me. This is how I grew up. My mom didn't show me love. My dad didn't show me love. So how am I gonna show other people love? Learn.
You ain't never seen
Th-
TV before. Like you ain't
you
never
ain't never
turned on
seen a
Hallmark.
Hallmark movie before,
No, I'm saying, no, I'm
right?
saying, like Lifetime something, like for real. You ain't never seen it before. You mean to tell me you ain't got no examples? None.
Like the examples are out here. Like you can. I'd seen a motivational speaker. I forget his name, but he was talking about like you can find inspiration from anywhere. Like I grew up a nerd or whatever. I found my inspiration from the shows I watched. Power Rangers. That made me the man I am. The wanting to be a hero, wanting to help people. Just simple things like that gave me the inspiration to make my millions, to get out of corporate America to where I'm helping people. I'm saving lives. And it's just like we have people out here that have connections with all this information, TV, social media. They have the way to make it out, to be better, to do better. This podcast, to learn how to be better, and they don't take it because it's too hard. They
Hmm.
haven't seen it. It's unknown to them, so they're fine being them, which is
Yeah.
weird because they grew up in this harsh family that they didn't get that love. They didn't have a mother or a father that showed them that, you know, they cared, that their well-being is important, that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if they get sick, they don't just, you know, dope them up with a whole lot of medicine. They just, you know, they, instead of doing that, they work through it. They figure out something. They take them to the doctor, the hospital, see what's exactly wrong with them,
Mm-hmm.
see if, you know, if they can help, you know, give them rest, give them space, all this other stuff. And people don't want that. Like, people that hasn't had that, they don't want that growing up as an adult, or they don't want to change for the kids.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause they don't feel
weird.
like
It
it.
baffles me
They don't feel like it, bro.
because it don't feel like.
They don't feel like it. So like, I watched the dude yesterday, bro. Like, and we gonna end up cycling through a lot of these. I'm telling y'all. Like, if you ain't pick your poison yet, like, I know there's still situations as it pertains to this conversation where I got growing up to do. Like, for real. Like, I know that there's situations where I say, like, I don't really feel like doing this, and I gotta get up and do it anyway. But you know, sometimes I miss the mark a little bit on some of those situations. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect human being, but I know where I want to be, and I think that's where the discipline comes in. That because and we can go back into the discipline conversation with this as well, because you got to be disciplined enough to say that I'm not going to let these emotions get in the way. So like, one of the things that I saw, I just saw this on, I think it was Tuesday, I think it was, man, where the same kid that we were talking about earlier, he did some dumb shit, absolutely ridiculous, and he got called out for doing something wrong. And when he was getting to talk, my man stormed off. Like, as we were telling him what the problem was, he stormed off in the middle of the conversation. And I'm like, how is it that, you know, he didn't feel like hearing the rest of the conversation. So he stormed off. So
With him. Y'all be picking with him.
yeah. That's pretty much where he was going with it. But you know, we're like, yo, we won't even, because he was in his feelings, right? And that was the reason why he lashed out the way he did, because he was in his feelings. But really, nobody was really thinking about that. We were just trying to get the job done. Like, he was complaining about something that he had control over, but because he felt like he couldn't say nothing about it, he didn't. So he got pissed off about it, and then he decided to bring it up at that moment where somebody asked him to do something. So when it was time to execute, you decided to show feelings instead. So then we talking about the moment of execution. It's not time for talk. It's time for execute. It's time for, you know, let's get the job done. And even it was even said to him, and I ain't had a conversation with him. I'm like, yo, if I talk to him right now, he gonna go home. And I said that to him. I'm like, if I talk to him now, and I looked at both of them, I was like, if I say anything, he ain't gonna like the conversation. He probably gonna leave right now. So you might as well go ahead and clock out. Like, I straight up told him, I'm like, yo, I'm not even playing with him no more. Like, especially after Monday, like, I ain't even playing with him no more, bro. Like, I ain't about to waste no more time. But like, and that's me being in my feelings. So, but at the point of execution, you were asked to do something, but because you didn't, and this get a lot of people in trouble. That's why I brought it up, right? Because like, half of the time, bro, like the emotion don't even need to be. It don't even need to be present, bro. Like, you don't even need to be in your feelings when somebody asks you for a certain thing. Like, especially at work, bro. Like, you got your emotions tied to certain results that don't even got nothing to do with you. So when somebody asks you to pivot, now all of a sudden you piss because they needed something for their job, and you don't. And this ain't something that you usually do. So like, now you pissed off at them because they asked you for something that's outside of your wheelhouse. But like, for real, like I said, it's the moment of execution. And in that moment of execution, especially if a superior, and this is where most people get in trouble at, I used to be that person, right? Because I used to get in trouble a lot. Somebody asked me to do something, I'm flying off the mouth. I'm cussing them out. I'm saying, man, why I gotta do, man? Why you can't, like, asking all these questions and stuff? But in reality, the thing that you doing it doesn't even matter. It's the point of execution that we're talking about, because they asked you to do something, and in that moment when they needed it done, you decided that, okay, this is how I'm gonna react. I'm not going to react by getting the job done. I'm going to react by all right. Let me back up. I'm going to react by keeping it from getting done.
Mm.
So when we talking about being brand, we talking about doing brand stuff. Like, for real, this gets a lot of people in trouble, right? Because you doing that at work, right? So now you doing it at work. Now you accustomed to doing it. You doing it for 40 hours a week, and then you go to your business and somebody asks you for something that you can't get done. Yeah, you making excuses. You don't even know that you making excuses, but it has become a habit. It's become something that you do on a regular basis. So now that anytime somebody asks you to do something that you ain't necessarily able to do, or you ain't got the, like, maybe it take a lot more resources, or you just won't really thinking about you weren't prepared to spend that much time on something, or whatever the case was. Now you making excuses to the person at the point of execution. But at the point of execution is not the time to be talking about your feelings. At the point of execution is the time to execute. Like, we don't need to be talking about how you feel about getting it done at the point of execution. Your customers don't care about any of your emotions. They care about how you making them feel. So when my job say, when they ask me how do I make or my experience with a customer, they say co-workers, they say managers, they say replace customer with these people, co-workers, managers, employees, replace those people, or replace customer with those words there, and tell us how you handle any of those situations. So if somebody come to me in their feelings, I got to figure out a way to get them out of their feelings, so then we can continue having this conversation. But some of y'all, somebody approach you in their feelings, and it be feelings that ain't got nothing to do with you. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Somebody approach you and their feelings about their feelings towards the process. You taking it as a personal attack. Now you in your feelings. Now both of y'all in y'all feelings. Now both of y'all get fired.
Yeah.
It don't make sense.
And like we said before, like, how you do anything is how you do everything. People taking that back home. What does that necessarily look like? That person we always talk about, they could be in a better position. They have the opportunity to travel, to see the world, to do great things, to get out of their feelings and actually, do something about their life. But because they're so stuck in their feelings, they can't leave certain things behind. They can't leave their comfort zone. They can't leave the position they're in, because I guess that position makes them feel good or something. I don't know. Like, if I'm having that many complaints about the job, about my life, about anything like that, I'd be fighting tooth and nail to try to get out of it. But they don't, and it's weird. Like, yeah,
I'll get to that in a second. I got you. I know exactly why. I know exactly why.
And, like, if you're having that many negative feelings about something, like, your brain automatically does this thing where if it feels pain, if it feels fear, it's gonna tell you, all right, we need to get away from this. We need to get out of this. But, like, they've been conditioned to accept these feelings, these uncomfortable notions, and they just stay there. It's weird.
I got you.
Take it away.
So the at the situation where my man stormed off of this conversation, my coworker, my counterpart, she said that she just commended him recently and gave him a verbal positive. And now that she gave him a verbal positive, he went back and started acting like this, and she's a bit confused. And I was like, but all right, so and I told her straight up like this, like you come from a different background. Not only do you come from a different background, you got a different set of friends. You got a different group that you hang out with. You don't hang out with the people that he hang out with, and that's the problem. She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "All right, so he hang out with you, maybe 5 minutes out of a week, and y'all have a deep conversation, and you pub him up and give him credit on something that he did, but then he go back and he talk about he spend the other 39 hours and 55 minutes with the person that he called his best friend, who always complaining, who always in his feelings, who ain't never trying to move up and ain't got no goals. So what do you think will happen to him? So you hanging out with other people and they feelings too. So all y'all, y'all just in y'all feelings together. Y'all just in y'all feelings together. And like and this is one of the biggest reasons why I say all the time, like, yo, I'm not trying to be omniscient, or I'm not trying to be arrogant, or I'm not trying to be like acting like I'm above nobody, but like for real, like I can't hang out with people who in their feelings all the time, bro. Like it stresses me out when I hang around. I don't get stressed out, but I get anxiety when I'm around people for too long who ain't talking about the right stuff, bro. Like that's just me. Like I don't know what it is. And I asked Alyssa recently, I'm like, yo, like some of these folks, I feel like they're rubbing off on us. And she was like, that's not really possible because, we do XYZ, bada bada. I'm like, no, but you don't get it. We gotta be around them.
Mm.
We got to be in the same environment. We in the same situations they in. So like how much of their problems, or their reactions and how they handle problems and stuff like that, how much of that is really rubbing off on us? Because if we in the same environment doing the same exact thing, then we can't necessarily say that we not letting it affect us in some type of way, right? Like that was my argument. That's why I was like, yo, we gotta the environment that we in ain't right. And like I'm not trying. I promise you, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I have a conversation with anybody. I'm a people person. May not be extroverted like talking about, but like I love to talk to people. Like that's just something that I do. I like to help people with their problems. But the problem is that most people ain't trying to help themselves through their own problems. So why am I trying to help them through it either? Like if you're gonna be in your emotions too much to even come up with a rational solution to the problem that you have in, and that's what it's all about. It's about being rational, and you can't be rational when you in your feelings. You gotta pick one or the other.
Big fact.
Because at the point of execution, you're gonna make a feelings based decision when you should have strategized about something.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a big part in it. Not a lot of people are thinking through their problems. They're reacting through their problems, and like it's a split second reaction that they make, like you said, based on feelings, and it's like, where's the thought process at? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts in that moment that you made to come up to that person that may or may not have been hurting, that may not have been in a bind, and you come say some off the wall stuff to that person? What was the thought process of uh uh you starting with someone just out the blue? You want to get into their business, don't know what they got
Mhm.
going on in their personal lives or whatever, and you just starting off the wall conversation. Like, is it like, what was your thought process in a toxic relationship? Y'all both doing toxic things to each other, and you thought if you kept with it, it was gonna pan out, it was gonna get better, and you see no proof of it getting better after the long term that you've been with that person. You just think out the blue, oh, this person's gonna fall over heels for me because I'm here. I'm not doing the right things, but it's gonna all pan out. The math ain't mathing.
But see,
Like,
that's the thing. Like you asked, what was your thoughts when you made this decision to do this? But the thing is about being in your feelings, you don't need to think about what you're doing. Like when you in your feelings, you don't think. Like that's not part of being in your feelings. When you in your feelings, you all reactionary. There is no thought when you in your feelings because the only thing that you're trying to do is elicit pain in the other person. Like say somebody say something to you and you don't like, and they put you in your feelings. Your only mission is to get even, or get revenge, or to elicit pain, or you going for blood. Whatever the case is, you don't need to think about that. It don't usually take, like, for real. We humans, though, they say we civilized, but for real though, our brains are primal.
yeah,
Our brains are
bygones, let
primal. Like
bygones
the
be
only
bygones.
like we don't need there's think about it. Fight or flight.
Fight or flight. Yep.
Fight or flight. Those are two things. Whether you fight or whether you run, we know exactly what to do to break a human body. We know how our own bodies move. We know what ain't supposed to work. We know what hurt. We know what don't hurt. So we don't need to think about the fight part. And running is an instinct too. You don't need to think to do that. So those are like, so when you in your feelings, is either a fight or flight response. Like, so when you think about it, you get to stay in that gray area and figure out exactly which way to go. So it's like if somebody say something to you that's wrong, and you like, all right, I don't necessarily like that response. I don't necessarily like how they came out with it. But like what most people don't do, what most people skip, they skip the if I do blank, then blank. They skip that whole process. So it's like I'm just going to respond first and and I ain't gonna worry about no consequences. I ain't gonna worry about nothing. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna lay the hammer down, and I'm gonna feel real good about myself because I lay ass out. I lay their ass the fuck out. But people don't necessarily think about what comes after the fact. Like what comes after the moment that you lay that person out. What comes after the moment that you cuss this person out? What comes after the fact after the moment that where you threaten this person and they feel like they about to lose their life? Like what comes after that? Nobody thinks about that. Everybody wants to be in their feelings, so they think that they let their instincts kick in. So when you in your feelings too much, your instincts kick in, then your body moves instinctively.
Yeah.
Because if you can't rationalize a situation, your body goes on instinct and your body says fight or flight. Do I fight this or do I run from it? But you could have saved a lot of energy. You ain't had to do neither one of them if you just stayed present in the moment and thought the whole situation through. So first of all, let me go back to this, right? And I don't know how much you know about the ancient Chinese, Japanese fighting styles, but I don't care which one you pick, but just pick one. They tell you the first thing that you need to do is learn how to control your emotions. Because you are not going to be able to effectively do what we're going to teach you if you are in your emotions. If you let your emotions go, if you're fighting in rage, if you're fighting with anything on your mind other than the fighting style, it's not going to work. You will get your ass whooped. Like straight up, if you, it's time to go. Like you talk about that point of execution, it's time to go. So if you can't get out of your feelings, that go ain't gonna look the way you think it is. Like
And it's I heard something recently about it. It's like they don't practice this fighting style or this structure to win or to look for a battle. They do it in basically self-defense. They do it as a need. All right, if I need to do this, emotions is out the win, is second, is not existent in this battle. Like if I need to do it, I'm here to win. There's no other option but to win. And it's interesting how you said fight or flight, because like you're either gonna run or fight. And it clicked. Like we won't teach kids how to run. We teach them how to walk, and then the running comes comes natural. Like once they get walking, they almost instantly go to running, right? And it's like I've never been in a position where I was taught how to run. Like I just instantly know, all right, this is a dangerous situation. I need to get out of here. It's
Yeah.
pitch black darkness out here. I need to get up out of here, right? And it's like even in that moment, like that fear, it slips in and it your body it moves on its own, or in some cases it doesn't move. Like I remember one time, we had went rock climbing, Virginia Beach. This was a while ago, and I'm climbing up the rocks, easy peasy. I'm like a teenager, maybe, yeah, I think I was like 18 something, maybe 20, I don't know. But like climbing rocks, fine, right? So I see this kid, he gets up pretty high, he gets fearful, he gets scared, he gets stuck. So I'm like, all right, I see that. And I'm like, yeah, kid, that's understandable. So I try to go do another rock climb before we leave. I tried to do the one with the little button up top where you get to the button, push it, then you come down. I get pretty high up, and it's like instantly I froze. I'm like, I was doing just fine. I need my body to move. My body won't move. I'm frozen in fear. Like I haven't done this before. Well, I was doing it most of the day, but like seeing another person's fear, seeing their emotions for something, got into my head. And now I'm fearful. Like, oh man, I'm hooked up to everything, but I'm like that fear of falling, that scaredness of falling. I'm high up, like it froze. Like I'm a grown man and I'm freezing because I let it slip in. I let those emotions get into my head. Even if they were small emotions, but like it was enough to make your body lock up, tense up, and you just like, whoo, like what is my next response?
Yeah, we can go ahead and start giving the last bit of advice for this one, man. And I just want people to really like evaluate, like take a really hard look at yourself as a human being, as a person, and just think about the things that you're doing before you actually do them. Because, like,
Mhm.
in my opinion, bro, the most dangerous people in the world are people who can't think before they act.
Mhm.
Like, and that's always been my thing. Like, I choose not to align myself with people who can't be present in the moment and think about also the consequences of their right now into the future, because I'm not in a position where I can do that. Like, I'm not in a position where I can just be like, all right, I can do whatever I want. I can just walk through life and punch people in the face whenever I feel like I don't like them or something like that, or cuss people out. Like, first of all, I'm a black man in a white world. Like, first of all, like I ain't got too many options. Like, the moment I decide to show some kind of anger towards anybody, everybody's scared. I'm a 6'1" black man. Like, I'm not a small dude. Like, everybody looking at me like, oh, is he good? Like, if I walk around looking angry, they already and it's the reason I say that is because I've seen it happen before. I've been in my feelings and my emotions before, and when I did it, everybody was cautious. And it don't feel good to me. Like, I'm just being real. Like, it don't feel good when people are walking on eggshells around me, because that fear that they have can turn into resentment real fast, and they can get me up out of there. And I and it could mess my life up in a way, because I'm not necessarily ready to go out into the free world right now. Like, as much as I want to be, like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. There's talks on moving forward soon, but we ain't necessarily got all our ducks in a row yet. So I got to be careful of how I respond to things. And also, like, I can't be around people who think on those levels, because those people will never be able to understand the discipline I have to the things that I'm doing. It's like there's never been a person that I come across who act out of their emotions who understands what I'm doing. Like, it just don't happen that way. Like, anytime I tell somebody, look, I get up at 3:30 every morning. I do my devotions, and I go and I get to work. They just immediately they're looking at me like, "Oh, why are you doing that? Like you get up at what time? Like, oh, what? No, I ain't doing that. Fuck that. I need my sleep. Like, I can't align. I can't do it, bro. Like it don't make sense for me for somebody like me to be hanging out with somebody like that. It just don't make sense. Like for real. So you are the person you are now, and it ain't necessarily working for the rest of the world. You're that person who's hot headed. Every time somebody say something to you, you pissed, or you getting up in other folks' business because you can't you got some kind of feeling about some kind of insecurity that you dealing with, or you think that everybody's out to get you, or some of those traits, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them. People getting in their feelings in the wrong and into the wrong realm of thinking. So like you hanging out with people who feel in the same way too. So like you would never be able to hang out with y'all all thinking the same direction. Y'all all had those emotions, and y'all bond over this. So you justify each other's thoughts. You justify your own actions. So like it makes no sense for you guys to be involved in each other's lives. Like I'm just being real. Like it may be your family. Because you say people say I'm like this because that's how my mom was, or this happened in my past. So you have to let the past go.
Yep. It ain't the 1990s anymore. It's not that type of realm. Even though some of those uh traits or characteristics of those past is still a little bit relevant today. There's still things like that still happen, but like it's a new day and age. It's a new tactic that needs to be learned to move through the practicalities of life. Like there's many ways for us to move, to start a career, to start a business, to interact with people, to even not interact with people. There's many ways to do these things that can help us for the better, but because of our conditioning and how we were raised, we still do those things like it was back in the day. Like we still ready to check somebody like it was back in the day. You know,
Well, no, don't even say it like that. Like, cause there's people still doing that, bro. Like
doing what?
it ain't a back in the day like the checkings and stuff, like checking somebody, like for real, that stuff still happens.
Yeah, I'm
Like you
saying
go
like we
you
we still doing it now today. But there's many ways for us to do it the correct way. There's a wrong way to do
okay,
it,
yeah.
and there's a right way, and we still doing
Cause
it.
you said it you said it like it was like it used to happen back then, but like you go back to my old neighborhood where I grew up at,
Mhm.
people still doing that. They still doing it. Like it never stopped. Like it just stopped because we weren't really looking for it.
Mm.
But apparently people they still making it happen. That they used to call it G checking.
Oh, yep, yep.
I'm gonna check his gangster real quick. That's what they used to say. Hey, I'm gonna check his gangster real quick.
Come on. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, like I said, there's many ways to do that correctly, to do that without hurting yourself and others, to do that where instead of you putting somebody down and you are basically standing on their downfall, there's a way for both of y'all to grow from that situation. There's a way for both of y'all to uh uplift your relationship, your business.
Hmm.
There's a way that you can interact with another business to where y'all
Hmm.
both are growing. Y'all are both sharing
Hmm.
uh each other's audience, each other's platforms, to where y'all skyrocket and just like be this dope little mixture, this little clog of a business that keeps his gears turning. You come together and you make a big part of a machine that becomes well known throughout the entire world and whatnot. Uh, but because we are in our feelings, we want to attack. We want to, like you said, get revenge. An eye for an eye. let bygones be bygones. You know, we're in this primitive mindset of I I got to get my lick back. You know, and it's a natural feeling. You know, even I feel it sometimes. You know, I can't say I don't like it. There's sometimes because I've
Right.
never been the type of person where if something happens to me, I want to go back and like dwell in that pain. Like I want to like get my lick back and just keep it moving. Like I feel that I want to do that, but you know I know how to. All right, no, this person is acting out of uh this emotion or this feeling, and I shouldn't get on their level. I should be above them and not above them, but like I should.
Nah, above them.
I
Bro,
know how to.
we gonna take the stigma away out. We gonna take the
Mhm.
stigma out of this, bro. Because like folks be looking at us like we arrogant because we don't want to be involved with them. But in reality, it's literally because like, oh, you think you better than me? I do. Until you decide to be better than you were yesterday,
Mhm.
bro. Yeah, I do. Because I decided that I was gonna be better than yesterday, and you didn't.
Oh,
So you think you better than me? I'm better than I was yesterday, and yesterday I was better than you. So what we doing?
big
No, yeah,
facts.
we
Big.
taking the negative stigma out of that, bro. I will no longer feel like or be made to feel like I should feel bad because I'm trying to be better than other people, bro. I'm no longer carrying that burden.
Word. Word. Cause
So
yeah, like
I,
a lot of people do. They like the guy we've talked about. I'm not sure what his problem is, but like since we've been on this road, like I know he has felt, he has seen that there has been a shift, and you know how we talk with him, how we act around him, and yet he still acts the same as the day we met him. Like it, it's weird. Like we've even like our talks have been on a totally different level, but he still talks literally like the day we met him, talking about the same thing: video games, anime, manga, still spoiling
bruh,
everything. Just like
the fact that we can have a whole business conversation and he comes into the conversation, hears about half of the stuff that we say, wait until we finish talking to start talking about a video game or anime is beyond me, bruh. I'm just like, yo, how old do you think I am? Like, how
mm,
much time do you think I got, bruh?
he about the same age as us, if not older, ain't he?
No, he younger than me. He a little
Mm,
older than you.
that's
Think he about a year, maybe 2 years older than you are.
that's that's not okay. But I mean,
No, it's not.
I've seen people in like their 50s and still be like not have
On
their
that
shit
same
together.
shit,
Like
on
yeah,
that same stuff. Yeah, because that's why right there. They're his cautionary
uh,
tale. They are his cautionary tale.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I want to add something to this, bro,
mm,
before we actually shut it down, dog, because it's like something that we didn't really talk about. It's like that whole you say eye for an eye thing, right? And
mm,
like we get into this mode where the only thing we want to do is tear somebody down because we don't
mm,
like them. And that's one of the things that I think we bowled over, and that's one of the things
that's
that's
true.
like, bro, it'll get you knocked down so fast. Like
Mm,
it don't. I don't think people understand, and I had to remind Alyssa this all the time. Like, yo, when you dig a grave for somebody else, go ahead and dig two because you can dig one for yourself too. Like
mm,
the moment I heard that, bro, it was the moment that everything started making sense, and the moment that I realized, and I heard it back in my mid 20s. So like, I realized that it doesn't do you any good to be talking about people, bro. Like it doesn't do any good to try to tear somebody down or ruin somebody else's reputation. Like one of one of the 48 laws of power is you let your enemies do what they do, and if you believe that they are bad enough, then your reputation alone will be the one that pulls them down. Like you won't need to do much to pull anybody down. The only thing you need to do is do what you do. So like in that sense, like I ain't never heard you complain about, or talk bad about this person that we're talking about. But in a sense, like he's like trying to climb up the corporate ladder. He wants to be promoted. He wants to do everything under the sun to say that he's ready to be promoted. But in a sense, like for real, he's asking for it, but he's also showing who he is.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, people are talking about promoting you, and you ain't even asked for it. You just worked for it, and you didn't even want it.
True.
But he was like, if somebody, like, I swear to God,
Mm.
I guess I know the type of person he is. If somebody said to him that you were qualified for being promoted, I guarantee you he will run off at the mouth for about a whole 10 minutes about what you not and what you ain't been doing. If he said, but Marcus only works 3 days, but Marcus doesn't even do this. Marcus doesn't even do that. I'm the one doing all of this, but I'm the one doing all that. I'm the doing this, blah blah blah. How that bitch get to do this? How that bitch get to do that? Blah 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 blah. Who this bitch think she is? Like all this stuff, bro. Like, and I hear this stuff so much, man. Like, and I'm like, yo, for real. Is this the only thing y'all talking about? Like, is it the only thing that every time you open your mouth is to tear somebody else down? Like, what is that even all about? Like, you talking shit about how your managers don't deserve this. You talking shit about how your PAs don't deserve that. Your PA's lazy. Your manager's lazy. They never did nothing. All they did was go to college and blase split. But what about you?
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What did you do? And that's what this conversation was about, man. Like, yo, keep your emotions in check, and when they arise, stop and ask yourself, if I do blank, then blank. If I talk about this person, then chances are this is what's going to happen. I'm going to spread a whole bunch of darkness. I'm going to make everybody feel good in the moment, but in the reality of it is that you just spent your whole time complaining about a person who ain't going nowhere, and y'all still just spreading negative energy. If I hit this person, then chances are I'm going to get fired. And bro, it confused me because, like, even back in the day when old boy who got to fighting in at work and bounced my man's head off the ground like a basketball, like it confused me because, like, the whole time leading up until that point, bro, he was always talking about how he had to take care of his daughter or whatnot, but in the moment he was just like, you know what? What you thinking? Like, yo, I ain't got to take care of my daughter no more. Because he said that. I ain't got to take care of my daughter no more. Like, I don't need money no more. Like, what was that? Like, I just, it's certain situations like that I just don't understand, bro. So, like, for real, at the point of execution is the only time. Like, at the point of execution, you don't need emotions. All you need is strategy. And if you have strategy at the point of execution, you will always be successful. Always. Every single time. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Every single time. At the point of execution, leave your emotions where they're supposed to be. Behind you. And what is the point of execution, might I ask? Because, like, some people think it's just talking about when somebody asks you to do something at work. Like, the point of execution is, you say you're going to get up at 3:30 in the morning. At the point of execution, at 3:30 in the morning, you're going to get up, or you're going to say you don't feel like it. At the point of execution, when you said at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to go to the gym. What are you going to do at 6 o'clock? You're going to feel about it, or you're going to do? At the point of execution, when somebody asks you to do something that's going to further your career, are you going to complain about how you don't need to do it, or why you feel like you don't need to get it done, or you going to actually get it done, and then just rather, because I promise you, the feeling of doing it and getting it over with always feels better than complaining about it anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and do it. Think about that point of execution, man. Like, you do that, man. If you do the right thing at the point of execution, like, everything, you'll be successful every single time, man. Like that's my honest word. I really do feel like that.
Uh, basically, what we're trying to say is make a habit of just showing up and doing. A lot of times you're not gonna feel like it. A lot of times, the motivation ain't gonna be there. The emotion to do isn't gonna be there. You have to put yourself in a mindset to, even though I'm feeling this way, even though I have these strong feelings about a certain situation or a certain action I need to take, I still need to do them because they're gonna get or give me the outcome that I need to do whatever, get out of my situation that I'm in, to make my business successful, make my career successful, to learn something new that's gonna help me succeed in life. Just do it. Like, that's all there is to it. Just like the Nike symbol, what Nike stands for, just do it. You know. Uh so that's all the time we have for today. Mac, what do we have coming up?
On my end, I'm still working on the same thing. I've slowed down significantly, and when it comes to writing, and it that ain't, well, since we talking about feeling, that don't feel good. Um, so I gotta get back on it. I've been kind of slow burning it, and I've realized that I'm at a bit of a standstill because of how of the direction that I took. So I'm gonna spend a little bit more time trying to rectify that situation and make sure that I come back swinging, because right now I'm a little stuck. So well, as far as the marketing goes, so like I'm just in the meantime between time, I'm gonna keep pumping out art because I'm still practicing that. I got a piece that's about to drop next week on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. Uh, and yeah, man, that's it. That's about it, man. Once I get done with book 5, I go back into book 1, and we start all over again, man. You know?
Word. Um, had a little hiccup with life. Working through that currently. Just like I said in the podcast, man, doing the things I need to do. Even granted, how I feel about it or what type of emotions I have towards the situation, I just need to do it. So yeah, we gonna make it through it.
Yeah.
This has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. That's all we have for today. Remember to trample over that like and share button. Subscribe. Share with your friends, your family. We do this for y'all because we love y'all. And always remember, those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.